All right, guys, we are jumping back in today with a little bit more Starfield playtesting. If I sound a little off today, been under the weather for the last couple of days, so we're trying to get back into the swing of things and hopefully not sound too bad and see what we can get out. So we're doing a little bit more playtesting today. So the mods that we really are wanting to see and playtest building. Um, First one is I think it's Milky Way Vixens. That's an overall overhaul to the females and what we're supposed to see here. And it's supposed to be in conjunction with crowd density and I forget what the rest of it is. Should become better prepared. All right, so back in here. So again, my apologies. So what we're looking at is the Milky Way fixes, and then we're going to look at the crowd density overhaul and improvements, um, and then also Gorefield. Yeah. Not sure how that one is gonna play in here. We may not see much from that one. It'll depend. Let me just check something real quick here. So one of the things we can always double check here is when you come in here. Now I didn't go in and change the load order, so it should stick them right here at the very bottom if they are in fact enabled. And as we can see here, it is not. Neither one. And not a single one of them. And that's actually kind of annoying that they're not um, enabled. So give me a moment here. I'm going to go back and because the reason I'm gonna pause this is because what I'm gonna have to do is go in there, enable them, and then I'm gonna have to back out and then read. It's a long story, but I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and then we're gonna see exactly what we got here.
I'd rather not get mixed up with this.
Okay, so everything is in. And then what this does also tell me as well as there's a big oopsies. Oh my gosh, the physics that the Milky Way Vixens has is kind of insane. A little too much for this, I think. So that is a bit of a concern. See what much money he's got. And he's got none. And you can see we got very little money. So this is Goku, Devan, and he is okay. All right. Oh goodness gracious. Okay. Oh goodness. You see what I'm saying about the physics, right?
Ryujin Industries is looking for the young, bright minds of the future. Apply today at the nearest kiosk.
Yeah. I probably won't keep that. Which also would change. It's a requirement for the crowd diversity overhaul mod. So Milky Way Vixens is a requirement. So it's not like you can get one without the other. As much as I'd like to see, yeah, we're not going to keep that. And as a result, we're going to end up losing the diversity mod as well. It's a shame. But hello, how are you? Okay. But you can see what it does is supposed to, I mean, key is you want a very diverse, different looking crowd, right? So this mod is supposed to change a lot of that up. But the unfortunate part is that it relies on and requires the Milky Way Vixens mod. Why do I say this unfortunate? Because you gotta, if you look at the Milky Way Vixens mod, yes, it's okay to have the physics and everything in there, and it's in truth it is kind of a welcome addition. You know, if you have the ability to temper it down a little bit, right? This is it's it breaks immersion completely, and this isn't really. It's not just okay. In all honesty, it's not very well done, and so it just doesn't look good to me. So, yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't like it. So I can't, get past. And you see the is that clipping or is that just open?
Everything good?
She wearing a skirt? I don't know what she. But
Hopefully we'll see some action soon.
you see, I mean, the physics is okay if it was toned down, a bit, tone it down a little bit, and then make it look less fake. Because right here in this area, when they're walking and moving around, it looks fake, and then it looks like, in truth, that you paint it like it's painted on their chest. Their chest, the clothing doesn't. It loses the aesthetic as looking like an actual piece of clothes, and it just looks like their chest was painted the color of the clothing, and so it bounces up and down. And yeah, and then so when you've seen other mods and other games that do the same thing,
What?
they just do it better, and it looks better and looks a little bit more realistic. Here it just doesn't, and it just doesn't blend in well with anything. So no, can't. Not a fan, right? Even though, like I said, it would be nice to keep the diversity mod because then you have your diverse crowds and everybody's a little different, looks different, and so that would be great. And it really does work towards changing up the clothes. But you see, what is happening here is that it either exposes the clothing, or if you look here, her chest does not look like the same as the rest of the clothing, and it really looks like it's just paint, right? So, and I'm not going to say that the clothing is just painted onto the whole body. It looks like it's just painted onto the chest. It just way too, yeah. So it just doesn't work. All right. So that's one down. All right. Let me look at my. All right, deliver box. Oh yeah, so we got to deliver a package to Endem. Also, I want to see if the other thing is here, and if not, maybe it'll jump in at us. Excuse me. Okay, so under activities, we do have the find work at Argos mining facility on Vectera. So we haven't actually started the constellation portion of this playthrough here. These are all quest mods, really. Well, the Mantis is just an additional side quest, and the Last Harvest, I'm not sure exactly if that's in the game normally or if that's a quest mod that's added. But Ghost is one that's been added, and we're right here. We could kick that one off. Loose Ends is a quest line that happens once you get to Neon and Nesher's being caught at the port, starport. And then at Hell's Gate is a quest mod that's been added from as a creation, and this is a creation. So let's see right here. Look at that. That doesn't look real. She looks actually just like I said, naked with painted on, just a painted chest. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work. All right. So why is it taking me here? I don't remember. Because we need to go to Endem, so we need to go to the Starfield or Spaceport. And then another quest mod that we will be looking at is Gorefield. We won't be able to see that until we actually have some combat. So, yeah.
Seems like Crimson Fleet is everywhere these days.
And then we do have another mod. We're probably going to look at it at some point. It is a creation. It's a paid creation. 600 credits. And I don't remember the name of it. Yep. Well, that pretty much plays into the fact that, I'm still a little under the weather. And right now, my adult brain is even more adult than it normally is. And I was just looking at it today, ever something. And it is a quest mod for your home, and it even comes with a romanceable character, which really I found kind of intriguing. So I am looking forward to seeing what that's all about. So this character has played the Neon Smuggler's Warehouse, right? Neon Smuggler's Warehouse, which gives you this ship. It's not OP, but it is a little bit, it is a little bit on the side of, I'm not going to say cheaty, but it's pretty awesome ship, right? It's better than, your starting level ships. You can see the reactor's 44. We've enhanced it to have 6,800 cargo space. I've made some modifications to it already. The new paint job, I've gotten rid of some aesthetic pieces, and then I just went with what I could afford so far, but we can even make it have more cargo space. So we got the ability to add more to that. Right now, we did change out the 3x3 cargo bay that it had down below here, and then what we've changed them into is a 2x2 battle stations along with a 2x1 workshop. So you can see the battle stations on the right and then the workshop over there on the left. So, and that is what doing the battle stations that way has allowed us to have more crew. One of the things that we are going to be looking at also is probably adding more fuel capacity. 390 with the real fuel mod isn't going to be the best for us. And then now with all the additional mods that we have, and you can see right now, let me just double check here. I want to be able to add in gosh darn it, I wanted to be able to add in a mission board, and I still need a couple of zero wires, which if I had more patience, I probably could go down and make a couple and then add in that mission board. Okay, so in order to do that, we'd have to come down here, come on over here, and then let's see. And of course, it would be at the very bottom of the list. list, right, of things that we would need to make and could make. So, but we do want to make sure that we at least have that. And one thing I'm going to do real quick while I'm here. Oh no, I don't need to right now. So I'll wait. All right, 0 wire. So I'm making 4 of those. It says I can make 9, but I want to make 4. And then, unfortunately, we got to go all the way back up, which isn't that far, 1 level, right? And then come on over here. And then I did have someone in the comments ask me, because I'll show you. So we want to, this is what we do. And in what better place than stick it right here. So there's 2 things. If you can do it, I strongly recommend just throwing these 2 right there on your ship. Okay, so now someone was asking me how in the world basically did I get my mission board to look like this. And then I did respond and let them know Dark Universe Overtime. Dark Universe Overtime. And it is one of, I gotta say, one of the best mods that I have added to the game here. And reason being is this. Seriously, it really does add in a ton of missions here on the mission board. But then it also not only adds these missions here, but as you go to complete them, it's trying to organically string missions along for you. So it's not even, here, go do this mission right here. All right, you're done. No, what it's going to do is you go do this mission. And then what it's going to do is you're going to find another slate either on somebody or in a container somewhere, and it's going to have another mission slate in there, right? And then some of them will actually just keep popping up new missions as you complete the one. So sometimes you can get out here and you can, it'll try to string along 4 or 5 missions for you, and you're like, okay. All right, you see that's going to take 65 fuel to get there. It said 65. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. We're going to hang in here as long as we can. Now, of course, we're not going to do a whole lot. Let him play Minecraft here. He doesn't bother me constantly about it right now. I'm going to take it from him and not let him play anymore. Love you too, bud. Get in there and play, man. Don't bother me about it. Just go play.
By the time we arrive at Hondo Station, they should be prepped for
This guy is crazy.
Although, are you sure they're what we're looking for? I'm not getting any readings from them.
You see this?
Initial flight
This is what I was
false
afraid of,
positive.
right
It
there.
does happen. However, it could also be a case of late manifestation. Regardless, I'll start getting them ready for it.
We can't fix it right now.
The ship is jumping in.
It is fixable, but it's like kind of a thing you have to live with. We would have noticed this sooner if I was a female. Than right now. If I was a female character, I would have known it because probably half my body would have been gone. Right? And so as soon as we went into the menu and then saw a character, it's like, where's you would just see a floating head. So, yeah, we have to fix that.
Huh. hair's a little shorter, I think. I don't know, hard to tell. But I'm fairly sure you're you. And it looks like I found you not a moment too late. Pins and needles all over, am I right? Yeah, nasty thing, that beam of theirs. First blast disables your ship, second disables anyone on board. Ah, yeah, you won't be able to talk for a while. Or move, either. Your neurons are all scrambled.
Yeah, pretty much.
But don't worry, it'll wear off. Eventually.
Will it?
Just
Will
try
it
not to
actually?
strain yourself. Uh-huh. You don't say. Well, I'd love to continue this enthralling dialogue we've got going on, catch up on old times, but clock's ticking, so listen carefully. These guys who attacked you, it wasn't by accident. And if I hadn't intervened, you'd be on your way to a max security prison right now. These guys, they will come for you again, and right now there's precious little you could do to stop them. Listen, there'll be enemy reinforcements here at any moment, so I'm gonna use my ship to lure them away. Give them something else to chase for a while. Once you can walk again, come find me at these coordinates. I'll do everything I can to keep you safe. You have my word on that. Now, let's get you out of this. Back to
Now,
your ship.
the cool part about this is they do leave me attached to at least one of the ships. And then, so one of the things I can do once I'm able to function again, right? And it's just me, is I can go back, I can board the ship. And then this is what, again, this is that problem here. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do until we fix, well, actually, we don't need to fix anything. It is an issue that I've been battling with, and I don't know if anyone else has had the same issue or problem. You know, definitely let me know in the comments if you're having the same issues as me. It's this: when you go in, and now one of the things I am thinking about doing, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it because it is a little bit of a chore, and I haven't been since I've been under the weather, I haven't been motivated to actually go through and do it. And that is and I did have one gentleman in the comments tell me that they had just done it themselves, and I was like, yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Is basically, and I had done it actually previously, and something happened. I don't know what happened, but what I did was I took all the mods, all mods that I was using in the game. I was just getting them through Nexus, right? I started with the the Starfield Skimpy playlist collection from using Vortex and Nexus, and it got all those mods installed, right? And then any other mods that I wanted, I would bring them in and install them from Nexus. And then what I started running into was this: any mod that was available both on Nexus and in Creations, basically Creations would somehow start downloading those mods as well. So then I started seeing duplicates. I'd start seeing a Nexus variant and then a Creations mod, and then it's just two mods. And I was like, wait a minute, it's the same mod. It just, one is the Nexus and the other one is the Creations version. And it didn't seem right that it was doing that. And then so at some point I was like, okay, look, let me just, if it's available in the Creations, I'm going to do it there, and then control the mod order from the Creations. And that kind of worked and has been kind of working, right? So that way I don't see duplicate mods. I don't see one, one version of it that's identified and another version of it that is versioned because it is from the creations kit or from creations. And then so, but the problem is every time you add a mod or change a mod or enable a mod, you have to go in and sort it. But every time you go into creations, once you load up the game and you go into the creations menu, the mods that that it seems that I'm loading is specifically Zone's Beautiful Body. That's the one that controls the female bodies, right? There's also this one here. This comes through, and then you get this with the Starfield Skimpy collection, along with the Robert S. Something body for males. And I disabled that one because it doesn't play very nicely with the Varoon's clothing or the Crimson Fleet clothing, especially anything like a tank top or whatever. It looks weird, and you get these dark patches on the skin and everything, and it just doesn't work very well. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna keep that. Well, oh, I know what I'm trying to do. Here we go. So every time you go into creations, though, what it does is it kind of basically disables the Zone's Beautiful Body mod. It just doesn't come through. So what you're seeing is, in some cases, it is there, but it isn't there, right? And then, so what happens, and then let me get in here, add the fleet. I'm not certified, but it has been added to our collection. So you see this works here just fine, but if I was looking at if I was going to go up and look at my character, and like I said, if it was a female character, you would see that, a lot of the gear would not show, and it would just be, they would disappear. And one of the things, and then just to kind of point out what I'm talking about. So right here, this is meant for a female character, not a male character. It's a divergent skirt, but you can see how the bottom is gone. Now it would have done that no matter what, because it's not meant to. But I will say this, okay, here, you see, but if I was running a female character, it would also look like this. Even though you saw the dead body work just fine, the live body would not. So that's the first indicator I would have gotten, and then I would have been able to just go back and say, okay, I got to restart. And in truth, that is all it takes to fix it. So if I just come in here, do this, do a quick save, and then bear with me one moment. Okay. So here we are, we're back, and then once again, like I said, if we go in and we see it, the divergent skirt doesn't work and the regalia doesn't work. It's a male, it's the females that are supposed to wear it. So god dang it. So that is that. Okay, let's just make sure, yep, all our stuff is here. Okay. Alright, so now we can undock. Okay, and then what we'll also look at is, hey, we got some loots available now. Wait, did we get it all or did we pass by? We sure not pass by it. All right. Available from all that, but then we have this. We have a mission. We need to scan, but then we have to go to the storage depot and place our item. Easier said than done. Now, one of the oopsies that I had mentioned before was, so I was trying to test Star Valor in a previous episode or previous upload, and I didn't look. I didn't think it was working, and then I thought one of the main reasons why it didn't work was because I needed Star Patcher, but there was no way to say for sure that was exactly why. And then one of the thing is, and I was actually researching it a little bit and even used Chat GPT for a little bit to help figure out, answer some questions for me. Well, I researched online and used the kind of combination of Google and Chat GPT, and it was really to ask about, what's the best way to patch in or update NPC stats, right? That's what Star Patcher is supposed to do. And what it's basically, the point of it is to come in and basically redo the stats for the NPCs and enemies and spawns like that, so that what Star Valor is doing is kind of not nerfing, but it kind of contradicts, if that's the proper way to put it. What it's doing is it kind of counters what Dark Star Game Overhaul is doing for you. Dark Star Game Overhaul increases basically the difficulty of the game and makes things a little bit more, makes enemies and spawns more bullet spongy, so it increases hit points and things like that. It also increases levels, and all those things. And what happened is, once you so if you can imagine, now when you're fighting things, especially if you have the Dark Star Game Overhaul, it seems like everything is very bullet spongy. Everything takes tons of shots to take out. And then now what Star Valor was supposed to do for you was to counter that. And so basically keeping all the AI improvements, all the smart things that Dark Star is adding, to your NPCs and your enemies, so that they will flank you, they will charge you, they're more aggressive, they're higher level, all those things there. But instead of having, say, 15,000 hit points when you face a level 100 enemy or spawn, it'll reduce it back so that maybe, instead of 200 hits, right, you only need to hit them like 10 times to take them down. So reduce that need. So that the game didn't really, just to make it so the game isn't so bullet spongy. And then, because again, that has always been the difficult part of modding games, to be more, to be harder, right? It's like, do you really want to modify the game so then it's going to be hard, and then all of a sudden everything seems like it's a bullet sponge, it's everything takes 20 shots, or 100 shots to the face to kill. And it's like, is that fun? Did that make the game more fun? Is that less immersive? You know what I mean? It's not immersive when a headshot doesn't do any damage, right? It's like, I just hit him with a headshot. Did it take him down? No, it nicked them a little bit. You know what I mean? And so, is that how it's supposed to be? And you're like, well, no. All right, so it's meet mysterious individual. Oh, my bad. What were we doing? Deliver package. All right, here we go. I was gonna say, why is it? Because the watchtower just takes over. So as you can see, what we're doing is we're driving around. This is a mod, Shade's vehicle tuner, and what it does, it completely, like, I'm driving around and I am collecting all kinds of resources. If you've noticed. Now, one thing that I truly like about this mod is shoot this. All right, so one thing I like about this mod is for not all enemies, but enemy spawns, right, or carcasses. If you drive past them, it will loot them as well. So not only does it get all the resources like that was water, and then when you drive past the gas, spouts, there was argon right there. But any of the resources that you drive past, it will collect automatically. That's a setting. By default, it is set to, see, more water. It is set to no. So you have to change that and say, hey, it's collected. And then you could tell it to collect fauna, flora, and all minerals, right? So you tell it what to collect. Also, I think it's a much improved gun that it puts up in here. All right, so we made it. Looks like the safe place, not an enemy run place, which is fine. Is that a provisioner? Hey, where am I going? Okay, so it's back over. Or not. Or maybe it's inside. Yes. What was that notice that came up? I missed it. So then, see, local mission data slate. So what it's going to try to do is, well, we can take that. We can take that. We'll take that. Hey, if I can look around and it's going to give me loot that's free and it's not stealing, because usually in the regular, so we can take the credits, and then boom, once we take something out of there, but we can choose not to take this slate, but I'm going to take it, and you're going to see dismantle robots on Endem 2. And destroy robot at abandoned pipeline terminus. And then you have Terramorph on Endem 2. Oh my god. Terramorph on Endem 2. Defeat Terramorph. Alright, so let's just get in here real quick. We're going to turn this on. And then we're going to go into our big map and then hover up a little bit. Now, the one knock that I have, and the one thing that I would like to see improve, right? So the next mission is this here. This is destroy the robot. Look where they put it. We're all the way over here, right? In the middle of the zone. So when you land on a planet, right? And I guess everybody knows this by now. But once you land on a planet, it creates a zone. Randomly creates, well, not randomly, but what is that word? Procedurally creates a zone, right? Where you're going to land And then the number of POIs and destinations within that zone, that's what's procedurally generated. Unfortunately, what that also means, though, is a lot of the structures that you see inside or run to, or basically the points of interest that you encounter within that zone get repeated quite a bit because there's only so many different, variations of it that they could create. So then you add in different mods. One mod I added was a density increase, POI density increase. So that makes more of them appear. And then Bedlam modifies and changes what happens at these POIs when you get there. And then there's also a POI randomizer that kind of randomizes them a little bit more, tries to change them up a little bit. There's also the Dark Universe Takeover, which adds in some more, and if I'm not mistaken, that one adds in 50 different types of spawns. And what I mean by spawns is 50 different types of POI spawns, right? And then so if you see anything that says like Forgotten Bunker or something like that in my playthrough, that was added by the Takeover mod. And then so you have this zone here, and then if you take off and re-land, that regenerates a different or new zone for you. Or if you get up, you land here, you clear out this zone, you can take off and then land onto another part of the planet, and then you'll land into a new zone. So it's the way, if you think about it, to generate an entire planet and put you down on it would take a significant amount of resources to do so. I know, and people will say, well, what's that one? Oh gosh, I can't even think of the name of the game that came out like 10 years ago, with in the space, and you go down and you do all the stuff. Yeah, when you're sick and your head is a little cloudy and a little foggy, But I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, but that one, if you look at it, does it have I want to say it's way less resource intensive and way less graphically. It looks different, right? And then the graphics are at a different level than what you have here in Star. I'm not saying Starfield graphics are like way up there, but they are significantly up compared to, oh my god, it was right there on the tip of my tongue. Knew something or something. Nope, it's gone. I'll probably think of it while we're going. But so that one, yes, if it does generate a complete planet for you, it is, just think about it. It's all about how the amount of resources it takes to generate the whole planet, right? Here, it would just be insane. So you can't get on the planet and just walk from one end to the other, or walk all the way around it. That would be crazy. That's even an kind of an insane expectation, right? Because I challenge you. Just get up one day, start out at Atlantic City in New Jersey, and then walk to California. And you tell me how long it takes you to do it. Just walk. You don't even have to run. Just walk. Just go ahead. Right? You know what I'm saying? So that's the same kind of insane, asinine kind of comment or remark that is like, just for the sake of, argument's sake, it's like, what are you talking about? There's no way in the world, It's just like when people, it's like, yeah, if you want to walk to one, like if you're playing Skyrim, yeah, you can walk from one end of Skyrim to the other. It will take a while, but you can do it. But that's not a whole planet. That's not a whole world. You know what I mean? That is a region within a planet, you know, on a planet in a world, and we can't even say what that is. All right, I don't know what this is here. Oh gosh. All right. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because one, we can. It might be an oh, it's not. Okay. The trick here is to get to the cockpit. If you do not get to the cockpit before they take over, before they not take off, take off, then the way you know if the ship takes off while you're still on it, one is you're actually gonna get kind of a black screen that happens. And then right now, instead of reloading, I needed to get up to the ship, to the cockpit. And one thing I really hate is if you can get interrupted. See, I'm getting interrupted every time he hits me. And then what I just have to do is spam the reload button until he finally does reload. Just in case, like right now. I know you can just tell me about the game, and you don't need to tell me about that, buddy. You just need to play. Go. So you can see right here, Star Valor is effectively having no effect on this game. And then, so right now, you can probably hear me just spamming the reload button to make sure he reloads. What the hell, man? Oh wait. Can you give me a... Oh, look at that. That's the Gorefield. I had to take. Okay. That was awful. Now, the cool part, one is we got some credits there, but the cool part was that they didn't take off while I was trying to take their ship. The unfortunate part is that we were able to sit here and take that. So I'm going to get up. You only have to sit in the seat to take over. Problem that we're having though is the problem that we're going to face here is if I go here and then I go to my ship, you can see that this is supposedly, there we go. So this is my home ship. All right, good. We can move our stuff over there. And what I'm trying to do is move over all the heavy stuff that I picked up. And you can see now that's fixed. We're going to store you away so I'm not carrying you around. This one I forgot to take the mods off. Oh, I hate that. Passion. Alright, let's see. Resources. Okay, so the cool part right now see, oh, we can do that. And then actually let's do some ballistic damage. Okay. So that is Gorefield. But we can quickly, oh, charred skull clothes. Look at that. That is crazy. We got to look at it. Look at that. That is crazy. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, that is funny. Oh, and look, got a guy over here too. All right, no, I ain't mad at that. Okay, so that's everybody on the ship. We could go up and look at everything there, but you know, oh shoot, where's the? Oh look. Watchtower components? Really? Why would Watchtower components be down here? And what happened to that gun? What happened to the? Oh well. I kicked it somewhere and now I can't find it. When I landed, it kicked it, and now it's gone. All right. So we saw success. We're gonna die because we have the wrong weapon. Are you kidding me? I had 9 shots left. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh man, look at that. Not sure how that would have happened. So you're telling me one bullet would have just exploded you? Burnt you to a crisp? Wait, unknown. Where's the unknown? See, so I'm okay with, like, if I was using something with that had like fire or a laser, which for both of them could have been true. I don't remember. I thought I put the other one down with an A99. So, but if I was using a laser, yeah, that would make sense. But if I'm using a ballistic weapon that takes you down, then it doesn't make sense for me to basically burn up like that. Unless had some sort of incendiary, ammo on it. So, alright, so with alright. So let's see, we are gonna try. Now, since Sarah's not with me, this is much easier to do because she doesn't like it when you run into things. In all honesty, I don't like it either, but god dang it, man, there's so many obstacles out on the ground here. It's hard not to run into stuff. So, like right here. I think we just dismantled the robot. And it was cheap. Because you can see we just took them all out with the gun. Without even trying. So. Now remember, it gave us two extra missions, but you can see
Out. Now. You
we just picked
the
up.
wrong fight. Take this. Damn it. That hurt.
Did it? Here, let's get through some more stuff. See, I'm not sure that they need to be bursting into flames all the time there. In truth, that's going to get them a nerve. Yeah, see, it's like I don't have any incendiary stuff on there, but you know, so be it.
You're dead. Dead.
Okay, then give it a moment. So it kind of takes the need for the Shades immersive looter. It kind of takes that away. And then what I mean by is that what it's doing is it's disintegrating everyone. And then if you noticed real quick here, so we got to dismantle destroy robot and industrial outpost. So, and then wait, let's go back here. And then all right, so there's that. All right, so let's back up a little bit so you can see this one technically is taking us into another zone. Same planet, just a different zone. And that's a little not okay. But then we also have this guy. There it is. Destroy Clemson Feet. Haunt. So you go on any planet and end them. Where's the other one? There's another one here that we just got. Alright, I could have sworn we did read it, right? You only had to pick it up, and it should be there. So we got the delivery. Oh, we still haven't done the robot? Is that, you're saying that wasn't the robot that we needed to do? I'm thinking it was. Alright, okay, here we go. Dismantle robots. Okay, so it wasn't. But show on map. So which one is this one? Destroy robot. So you were supposed to show me on map. God dang it. I hate this thing. I do. Alright, so let's go here. So you see that one is the one that's still on in the zone. Why do you keep defaulting back there? Destroy robot at research station. That one is, you see, off. And then this one here, destroy, is off as well. Well, nope, yep, it is. All right, I think. I'm confused. So I think we're gonna go after the Terramore. I looking forward to going after this Terramorph? Oh, heck no. Heck no. We don't want to go after this. Alright. Rock formations. And a dunk. And you know. If we were walking, we would be hands deep, elbows deep. Alright, fine. Looks like, actually, how do you get out of here? This is possibly tiny reasons to explore. Look at that. And what that does, it generates different areas, like little tiny camps, and puts them there so that, hey, you know, you come across them and sometimes you'll get some pretty cool stuff. Nothing earth-shattering or anything like that, but just some cool stuff. Whoa. How far away is this thing? Wait. Defeat the Terramorph at Airform Life. What the F, man? Weren't we just almost there? Alright. Whoops. Somebody's gonna look at the, what do you call that thing? The, gosh, man. Words are not my thing right now. Alright, see this? Did we get the fuel in there? It's a helium tank. I don't know if we got the fuel out of there. But we're not passing that up, that's for certain. Yep, we did not. Is that the only thing there? Tiny reasons to explore. And it could be something completely different. It could be part of the real fuel mod. And what road is that? Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, you expected me to get out of my vehicle to take that? No. And watch, once we drive by it, boom, look at that. We get the loot. That would have been insane for me to get out of my car. My buggy. Where is this thing? That's not the Terramorph we had to kill, is it? I don't think it is. We're never gonna get over there. Right, I think. Oh, there it is. Okay. Tiny reasons to explore. Get out of there. Oh, yep, another one. Did he just burrow into the ground? That was not cool. Excuse me. Whoa. All right. I know what a lot of people want me to do. They want me to get out of the vehicle and take this thing on. All right. What we'll do is we will. Oh my goodness. Who's insane enough to get up out of their vehicle to take that guy on? How many of these things you gotta scan before it comes up? All right, you win. He has some alien stew on him. Once we determine that we're not doing any damage to this guy, ooh, we did some good damage right there. How am I getting none? Are you serious? Okay. I'm not gonna be one to complain about that now. You know? I mean, it is what it is. Alright. Is this the other piece? There it is. But like, how many daggone things do we have to... Poor miner, we didn't come along in time for you. Where's my vehicle? Oh, I just ran right by it. Okay. Seriously, this thing moves so much faster. Has he got anything good on him? Not at all. Okay. Okay, so we're here, and it's supposed to be over there. All right, let's go. Let's go. See how it does this? Because at first it was showing it was out of the zone. Oh. That's an unexpected sight right here. Ouch. All right. God dang it. There it is. Oh my goodness. I hate those things. Get him. Get him. Get him. Feels like this ammo is doing every shot is doing very little. Why is this showing me an enemy this far away from me? Reminds me of something. Okay. There was no reason for that. We have to go inside, clear that out too. Get on the ground here. A fragmented head. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. All right. Hello? Anyone home? Is Pico here? We'll take the the decor. We can sleep here if we want. All right. I thought there was another person here. Apparently not. Okay. And I think that was it. I don't think it gave us another mission to go from here. Oops. Alright. But as you can see, we still have this one. Oh, look at that. It's still in the zone. Or at least it says it is. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to redo the suspension on this thing. Whoops. We're getting there. We're getting there. I done forgot what we're. Oh, robot. Was that? I forgot what we're doing. Spacers. All right, let's get out and check out the area. How about you? Now, I'm gonna think this is Bedlam. Bedlam is adding in all these, spawning in all these extra. Some of these, Gorefield is definitely doing, but some of these are still okay. So it's not 100%. I can get behind that. Oh, you're running.
Man down!
You finally decide to come help out your friends? You're like a day late and $1 short, bro. Oh shoot. Reinforcements. A little late. Alright, so you can see Star Valor isn't really doing anything. And it could be the issue or a problem with Star Patcher. Star Patcher is incompatible, or at least that's what it says when I try to start it up with it loaded. and it won't load. So right there, it's like, okay, it's great. Thanks for requiring a mod that's not compatible and doesn't actually load. And then the game will not load with it, right? So what it'll do is it'll say it has been disabled and then just quit on you, right? So it won't even load, even though it tells you it's disabled. So we left it in there though to see, and you can see this here. It says that this is stealing, right? This is not, which is kind of confusing. It's like, make up your mind. One of them is stealing, one of them is not. And then let's see, is it stealing or no? It is not. So that could explain why Star Valor is not working. But then the other thing too is the premise behind it, and I think we talked about this right when I first started playing, was that the premise behind it is that it was supposed to, and I don't want to say nerf isn't really but what it's supposed to do is reduce or bring back in line the required hit points and stuff like that for for the enemy spawns and stuff, so they're not as bullet spongy as it may seem. The problem is, and then one of the things, like I said, in my research, I found, or at least they was telling me, that that is not something that can be done, without a complete reset. And what it was basically alluding to, what I could read, is upon like creation of the world set or whatever, then that's when you would get, everybody gets their assigned values as they're created. And so you can't go back and just say, okay, reset these once this character or once this NPC or whoever has been created. So the idea is that it should work on newly spawned or newly created enemies and NPCs, but really won't do anything for anything that's already been created or put into the world. But the question becomes, well, what is new and what was already created or spawned into the world with its stats already in place? And then if that's what you're looking at, then it's like, okay, well, then yeah, anything that was already basically assigned its stats and everything like that is going to be bullet spongy and isn't going to change. So then what you're trying to do is you're trying to basically go in and patch those on the fly, is what you're really trying to do, to change them so that now you're creating or giving it new stats, lower stats, so it's not as much of a bullet sponge anymore. These enemies aren't as much of bullet sponges, but according to what I said, with my research, that's not doable. Is that true? I don't want to say yes, that's true. So basically debunk the whole idea or premise behind this, but it's like, well, I got contradictory information here. One thing you're telling me, yeah, it can happen, and then the other is, no, it can't. And more than likely, it can't happen without some sort of patcher. And unfortunately, it would seem that Bethesda has kind of made it so that these patchers that have been created to this point just won't work anymore. And that could be like with an update, something changes, and now you have to go back and figure out, okay, what changed so that we can update this so that it will work again. That's saying that it worked the first time. And, you know, are you relying on Bethesda to tell you what they changed in order to make the patcher, no longer work and no longer compatible with the game? And but then that requires them to even know what they might have updated or changed or whatever that makes it so that your patcher no longer works and is no longer compatible with the game. And so there's just a long roundabout way of, oh, he said, she said, I'm blaming you, you blame, and it's like, well, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And again, it's like, well, the way this is created, you are trying to do the impossible anyway. And so it wasn't something that was supposed to be easy or simple or even that you're going to be able to do anyway. So I look at it and I go, okay, all right, fine. That's kind of how you want to do it. And so I look at this and I'm just like, well, you kind of, either way, we're kind of screwed over. We're kind of screwed. Because the patcher doesn't work, it's not compatible, and nobody can seem to get on board or on the same page as to why. What broke? Did something break, or did Bethesda break something? And then I'm not going to say that they broke something, but did they change something that now we can't figure out what it was in order to update it? One of the patchers that I know that was made for this game, real-time form patcher, from what I was reading, is no longer being supported anyway. And that just happens to be the way it is. And a lot of times, and that's kind of the risk you take when you start depending on mods and mod creators and things, because life happens. Sometimes you come out and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to, do everything I need to. And then life happens and then you can't. And then all the folks that, are depending on it and, they're like, well, what happened? What happened to the mod creator? Well, he or she is doing something else now. Well, what about this mod that we're dependent on? Well, play at your own risk. Play with mods at your own risk. Life happens. So always have a backup plan, I guess. And then just always be careful when you're doing something that relies on other people. You notice I'm not putting away or storing everything. I'm not storing anything that has mods attached to them. Oh, that is a cool helmet, right? Right. I can't drop these. Okay. Yeah, I'm carrying around a lot of stuff. Alright. Material. Good sandwich. That. Gotta hold on to the purge valve. All this stuff away. Around a lot of weapons that we need to basically recycle. Okay. And then real quick here, while we're at it, where's our vehicle? Okay. So so we go into our vehicle cargo. Look at how much stuff we've just collected. Remember, when I started with this vehicle, it was empty. So far, just from us running around and just the auto loot, look how much copper we've collected. 1.3k. Uranium. Almost a full K. 1k of water. That is just insane, just how much stuff. And then the funny part about it is it doesn't get over encumbered. It does. Like, I can't manually or physically look, it just added more water. But I can't physically, like, manually add anything myself. So if I go up there and say, hey, put this in there, it's going to say no, it's full. This is a weapon workbench. Really? Standard barrel. Flex sight. Suppressors. Grip. Four grip. I could probably put this in. Turn off in there. Burst fire would be better. And then we can put on, burn. Burn to skeleton. Burn to ash. Wow. Disintegration. These are from the Gorefield mod, obviously. Flesh melting. Are you kidding me? What's the next one? Melting. Alright, so in the case of this one, for now, I don't want to use any of them, actually, to tell you the truth. Crippling would be nice. And loading swashbuckling. You know, for now. Just for now. And I do have something. We're taking, let's make it lighter for now. Obviously, it's not doing anything for us. We haven't added anything that really makes that weapon OP. Okay, so we got nothing here that we can take with us. And I think that was it. I think we got everything on the... And you can see it didn't give us another follow-up mission at all to just say, okay, to keep it going. So it isn't unending, right? I mean, we still have more. An incriminating data slate has been taken during transit. Travel to Kang 3. Where is that? Kang 3 is way out there. We're not going all that way. So where is this one? In the Hyla system. How far is that? Way out there. Okay. Now I do like the hijacked ones. And then which one is this one? In the Rivera system. Where is that? Okay, it's not way out there, but it's on the other side of Bola. So we cannot set course. Let's see, interstellar travel unavailable. We have to get back to our ship and in the cockpit when we have landed. And if we were already in space and just walking around our ship, we probably would. So what we would have to do, we can have fast travel while what? What did it say? That's not true. Is it because we're still moving? All right, let's stop. That's not right. That is not right. Unless that is an update or a change. Okay, so on planets that don't have O2, yes, fast travel is disabled. This is now your home ship. Where did you fast travel me? Oh my god. That is not my home ship. Hold on. Are you freaking kidding me? You see, sometimes this game can be extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. And you can see, because right now, my ship is gone. My ship is gone because it's not my freaking home ship. And now it's gone. One of the things that we can hope, you notice my vehicle's gone too. So it's not like we're actually even. So what we have to do is look around and see if the ship is actually still here. So what it did was it put us out. Where did it put us? If I'm not mistaken, it put us here, ship landing site. So this is where our home ship was. This is where our ship should have been and where we should be. But you see the ecliptic bayonet? That's where it is. And then look, there's our hammer. And that's why it was giving us that message. You couldn't fast travel while driving. It was not true. You know? So now, if I were to scan and locate the bayonet, which really is going to piss me off to have to do that. Well, one, because that it wasn't our home ship. We made great pains to not, what was that saying? Fallen Ranger duel. Okay, so that's a different mod. But right now, we can't worry about that because there's our landing area. We can't fast travel there while driving because it's broken, not because that's a thing. And then, so we have to find, I could probably just easily just do it like this. Say, all right, let's go here. See, did you notice that? It didn't give me an issue about fast traveling to the bayonet. But you can see it is broken. It is for sure broken. Um. All right. We're not gonna. We're gonna go from. Actually, I'm gonna go from here. I don't trust it. And is that a mod related thing or a game related thing? I think it's a combination. I really do. I think mods can be playing into that and right now be causing an issue. To be on the safe side, what I really need to do is locate, just to say, fuck it, and find my home ship, and well, right now it's frustrating. So find the home ship. And I don't know where it is. So there's the ecliptic bayonet. But hold on a second. Oh god. Not bad. Here. So this is still there. Do I want to travel there? I do not. If I could travel here, storage depot. And did it say that you can't travel while driving? All right, can I place a marker? I'm gonna place a marker. And then these are the things that make you go. So, but this is it. This is the issues that you run into. One, when you mod the game. Two, and when you're dealing with, unfortunately, a Bethesda creation. Bethesda game, right? So, am I a huge fan of the studio? I'm a huge fan of their game. But yeah, I get just as frustrated as other people, other folks, and I don't blame folks for getting frustrated when there's issues. And is that a fair thing to say? Well, technically, no. But is it a true thing to say? And the truth of the matter is, if you look at it, everybody should have stepped back and said, you know something? When Baldur's Gate 3 came out, everybody should have came back and said, you know what? You are absolutely right. It is unacceptable that this game came out as, I'm not gonna say as bug free, because it wasn't bug. No, nobody's come out bug free, but as solidly put together as it did, while we are dealing with, while you have other games that you know what I mean, can't get their act together and can't seem to put out anything that doesn't have some sort of bug in it. Now you see how many is now part of this right now that we're facing right now is, I don't know if it's Watchtower or Watchtower and in conjunction with Bedlam. Look at how many spawns all came in. Now but this has happened many a time, and of course you can handle one or two, but as many as we're talking about right now, like this here, alright, we'll try, but right now it doesn't look promising. And the problem is, we are dealing with a limited amount of fuel. stays there way too long. You see the ballistics is also at 0. And it's like recycled, man. And since it's just me, my shields don't come back online or as quick as I would like them to. And in this case here, I'm not worried about boarding or anything like that. I'm worried about survival. You see how my what's his name was just bouncing off with it? Oh, wrong way. Our ship skills up at least, even though I'm hesitant to do it right now because the mod that we have in it, that we have loaded, that changes up a lot of the economy, and it's called Spacefaring Economy mod. Once you hit once you got a Class B or a Class C license, it costs a lot of money. And we don't have it. We don't have it. And we would effectively, basically, ground ourselves if I upgrade my piloting skills and can't pay for my license. Alright, so we jump back in time. I just want to look to see where we're at with our piloting. Okay, so B ships are there, so we can upgrade it here. And then I'm gonna put that on here. And you might have noticed we are doing things a little bit differently this time than we did before. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you have to unload or reload. Dang it, right there. Because of broken pieces in the game. So, right there, what we ran into was the we ran into the issue with the, like I said, when you sit to add ship to fleet, and as convenient as that mod is, and the reason I don't disable the sit, because you can make it so that you don't sit, you just add it to your fleet and then that's it, and you stay standing. The only thing is, it tells you that could cause issues if you do that with a ship that's problematic in the game. And so you don't know if you're going to end up with something like that, especially with ships that are added by mods, and specifically talking about the Watchtower ships. You know, are they all good? Are we not going to see a problem with any of those? And, you know, so I don't want to do that and then all of a sudden run into a problem that I caused because, but I gotta be honest with you, it's like, no, it might just be better to set it so that we don't run into this problem. And the problem that we ran into was we took over the ship, and then the game got confused as to which ship was our home ship, which ship was, you know, what it was supposed to do with the ships. And then so when we tried to fast travel back to our home ship, it wasn't there. It wasn't available. And then so we had to get to the, you know, I had to force the game Well, I didn't force it. Basically, I had to reload at a point earlier so that I could just go directly to my ship and then force the game to say, okay, acknowledge that this is my home ship. We're here. We didn't get here by any other method besides just boarding it. And no, you may not register or change my home ship to the ecliptic bayonet, because that's what the game was trying to do. It was trying to change our home ship to the bayonet, because that's the one where we sat behind we sat in the pilot seat. So now it was doing its best job of trying to basically say, nope, this is your home ship now, while we're saying, no, it's not our home ship. I never said it was my home ship. I said add it to fleet. And what I am talking about is there is a setting right here. So add spaceship to fleet. So disabled, the player needs to sit. Recommended uses vanilla game validations. If you enable this, right, add space to the spaceship to fleet, you stay standing. The player can stay up. Experimental, less validation on unauthorized ship, may break your save if adding the wrong ships. So you just don't know. But right now I gotta do it, because what happens if I don't? Every time I sit down, the game tries to add that ship to my, basically tries to make it my home ship. And I'm not even trying to sit in it. I'm just adding it to my fleet. And it's like, no, dude, just add it. All right, so once again, I'm going to show you this. This is the mission board, and you can see it doesn't have as many as it did in the beginning, because we still have a bunch that we've accepted. So once we clear through them, then this will recycle and add more back in there. But you can see we got bounty stuff. We still got delivery missions, predator infestations, all kinds of stuff. So like I said, this was one of the best mods I've added to my playthrough, was that. So I mean, it goes right up there. Shades Immersive Looter, that was one of the top mods. And then the mods that have grown on me significantly, excuse me, man, oh god, this is terrible, is Dark Star Game Overhaul is completely grown on me, and to the point where, yeah, I think it's almost to the point where I won't play without it. I still have to get, there's a mod out there that basically nails everything down. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go get that, because it's just annoying. It's annoying that everything just, really, is that okay? If that's how it's supposed to be, everything's supposed to fly around. I mean, granted, but then, hey, glue everything down then. Glue it down. And then this guy, we're going to use this real quick, is probably one of the best creations too. Even though the chameleon thing I don't use anymore. See, if it wasn't a skip pack, I'd be okay with it. I like the balance packs myself. Okay, and then helmet. That's pretty chill. Alright, so we're gonna go with that for now. We're gonna put that there. Now, there is a mod that I have added that I am looking for, and it's called the Nomad Spacesuit. And the problem is, you can go get them at the Trade Authority, but I haven't found one there yet. Because I'd be willing, that's the one spacesuit I'm willing to pay for if I have to. It would take all my money right now. It's about 20K. But I think it's the coolest spacesuit in the game. You know, and then I would just take that and modify that one and be, you know, be happy as a clam. All right, so we come through here. We'll pull all the resources out, all the legendaries out. And then oh, we should check this real quick. The reason I like to wear the Crimson Fleet gear is because of that. So if I can add the Crimson Fleet gear, we're gonna this one. This one. Yep. Shouldn't take that long. Whenever if the thing is, if it starts to work kind of slow, and you'll see there's a bit of a. Okay, that wasn't bad. But so we can in here looking for O2 boasted. Just because I don't see, yeah. And then let's see, antiseptic, resource hauler, galvanized. So I just put this in. And then so you got armor plated, which is probably what I'm going to put on there. Unless see, there's a bit of a pause there. All right, and then that was that. And then let's do the gloves. See, so every piece of gear that we got is now starting to add way more, you know, defense. And you gotta love that. All right, so I'm gonna put combat veteran on this, and then I want galvanized, and then I do think we're gonna go. And then if I had fastened, which is a level socket 2, or mechanized in for socket 3, I would add those instead. Those will give you more carry weight. And you see this guy here, we can put him here, and him also 3, and then we can anti-ballistic. And I don't think we do antiseptic or corrosive, but I prefer something other than that. But we'll do. Okay, and then I mean, you see, we got so much stuff. All right, is that the helmet that we're wearing? Filtered Pirate Commander. Oh, it is. Okay. So let's put shielding on there. Sensor array. Hey. Not gonna turn that down. Can't put any of that on there. And we can't put that on there. Okay. And then socket 1 already has the filter. Socket 2 has more resistance. And socket 3, might as well for now. We'll replace it with something else. Okay, and then here we're gonna check slot 2. This is what we want. This is our ultimate goal. Right now, we'll do the medic piece for now. But ultimate goal is we need pack mods 2 in order to do it, and sterile nanotubes, right? But what this is, slowly regenerate O2 in 0 atmospheric conditions. So, and then right now that we'll put the oxygen reserve on there, and then you'll see once we're in 0 O2 conditions, the okay, so yeah, you'll see why it starts to become very important to have things like that. Put this low string. To have certain things loaded there, even if you look at it and you go, oh, do we really need that? And it's like, yes, at some point we are going to need it, and it becomes very beneficial to us if we can get them attached to I don't know that I really need Hacker, right? Because Hacker doesn't do anything for us at this point. Can we change? We sure can. Add any of these? Nope. We can add one of these. I'm gonna make us all kinds of persuasive. I should have put +5 reload speed, is what I should have done. I'm not going to take anything from my carry weight. I'm not going to take anything. What's our hat doing for us? Oh, okay, give us a persuasion chance, alright. And I think everything else, the belt is 5 carry weight, the gloves carry weight, and the outfit is health. Okay. I will, if I can. Nope, I can't. Oh, man. So we'll give ourselves almost a chance. Okay. So, yeah. There we have it right now. As you can see, the Gorefield works as expected and works like a charm. It really does. Do I like it? I don't know. I mean, for me, it does change the game. You know, as far as it kind of like what I do like about it, and I will say this, is when it does go into effect and it does disintegrate the bodies, you see how it switches the loot so that you can loot everything still. So you don't actually have to go through and say strip the bodies using the Shades immersive looter. And then it also, the problem that you run into though, and then one of the things I use Shades immersive looter for is, even if I don't take everything off the body, when I hit that button to strip them, now I know I've looted them. And then so when I move on and come around, I don't have to go back and say, did I loot everything off of that one? Did I loot everything off of that one? Because I know I did, right? Or everything that I wanted from that body. And that's not the case, because Gorefield is gonna, it's gonna look the same whether I looted it or not. But I'm not unhappy with the mod. Star Valor, I don't think it actually worked still, even though I went through an entire session thinking it was, enabled, and it wasn't. So that's embarrassing. But it just doesn't. It doesn't work without the Star Patcher, and the Star Patcher is incompatible with Starfield right now, or at least the last time I tried to put it on, which was a couple of days ago, and with the latest version of it, and it would not work. So that is what's going on with Star Valor. We did when I was going through and changing some things up, and remember I had to reload because things weren't working right. When I reloaded, I did take off Milky Way Vixens and the crowd diversity overhaul mods. I didn't want to take off the crowd diversity overhaul mod, but it requires the Milky Way Vixens mod, and I did not like that one at all. Not at all. So it's unfortunate, and it's kind of disappointing. And I wish there was a version of it that worked well with zones, beautiful bodies, or, just work with the standard, regular body, just to require the Milky Way Vixens is just a shame, because that's not a very good mod. It just isn't. And so yeah, so that's like I said, that was very disappointing. But the one mod that I am kind of curious about, and oh my gosh, that's the captain's quarters right here, and you can see it's just a mess. Is looking forward to is the quest mod with the new romanceable character. I don't know how to kick it off, or I would have, but I'm going to actually just do a complete mod showcase session just looking at that particular mod. I don't know which way or which character I'm going to run through it. I might actually just stick with this guy right now, or go back to Tori, I think. I haven't decided yet. I wanted to stay with a low level character right now, and then we can laugh and say, level 20 or level 30. 28 isn't a low level character, but then, as we all know, yeah, the game, I mean, you can go up to level 200, 300 level characters, so 28 is actually really low. It's a very low character, low level. So so either with this guy, and I'm really liking the beard on this guy, so that's pretty chill. So we'll look at that, and I'll try to remember what the name of it is, and because I do want to get in there and test that one out and see what it's like, and see what the romanceable character, I don't even know if it's a guy or a girl in there. So who knows? I don't know. So we'll see. But right now, remember, guys, so basically 2 thumbs up on a crowd diversity overhaul. I'm gonna say 1 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. And the reason being is I like what it does. I just don't like that it relies on the Milky Way Vixens mod. The Milky Way Vixens mod. 2 thumbs down. It is, I mean, or 1 thumbs down and 1 right? Sideways thumb, because it does what it's supposed to do. I just don't like it. Just isn't done well, and the look of it is just, I hate to say it just looks kind of cheap, fake, and again, it just looks like the boobs are painted and they just flop around all over the place, and that doesn't do anything. That's not what we're really looking for. The Gorefield, 1 thumbs up. That's about it. It does what it's supposed to do. It's kind of cool and everything. Am I going to take it off? At this point, I don't see a reason to take it out. And it's not really impacting the game significantly that it's a detriment, right? And Some of the visuals are kind of cool. Got to get that stuff out of my inventory that I picked up just because I didn't know what it was. But again, like I said, when it comes to looting, it does open that back up to like, did I loot this body? Did I loot that one? I don't recall. So yeah, I mean, and then again, they all seem to work just fine with Dark Star game overhaul. And like I said, Star Valor just, it didn't do anything. So at this point, it's jury's still out on it, really, I guess. I mean, if I had to say anything, it's a 0, because the one mod that is relying on doesn't work or is incompatible with Starfield. And the whole premise that it's based on might be a non-starter anyway, because it might not actually do what it's supposed to do. So I don't know, right? But then it could just be me, in a sense, like that. It could be my shortcomings in modding the game, right? So we'll see. But guys, remember, leave a like, leave a comment. Anybody out there running Starfield, Star Valor right now, let me know how it's working for you. Let me know how you got Star Patcher to work. Let me know if it isn't that I have to load it like a mod, but actually like run it against the game files, as a patcher, right? Remember when we used to have to remember Requiem, the old school way, where you had to run it and you had to run the reprocessor or whatever, Requiem reprocessor, whatever it's called. I can't pronounce it. And you had to run that outside of the game to update all the, patch all the files and everything. Let me know if that's something that we have to do, because none of the instructions tell you to do that. And then when you go, even when I went to the Discord, there was nothing there to tell me to do that. So I haven't found anything that says, hey, here's some step-by-step instructions on how to run the Star Patcher. And the link to the video is for Skyrim. Update that video, do an extra video for Starfield. Skyrim isn't Starfield. Creation Kit 1 or Creation Engine, the base creation engine isn't the same as Creation Engine 2. So update that. Put out a video for Starfield, not Skyrim. Okay, if I'm trying to patch Skyrim, then I'll go and watch that video. But I'm not going to watch that video and then just kind of interpret what it's saying there in relation to Starfield. Right? That's kind of a piss poor way of doing it. Tell me, all right? So anybody that's doing this, if you tell me that's how you had to do it, I'll look into it, but guess what? I'm not going to do it. I'll look into it, but more than likely I'm not going to do it, because that's just a half-ass way of putting things out there. And it's like, let's just do it the right way the first time. Give clear instructions on how to do it. And remember, one game isn't necessarily the same as all the other games, right? And then don't assume that because it works similarly doesn't mean I actually did it with Skyrim anyway. And then again, like I said, we're in a day and age where just make another video of how you did it with Starfield. You know what I'm saying? You're putting the product out there. Okay, so, and then remember, like, comment, subscribe. Big time, subscribe. All right, guys, we will see you next time. And remember, things that are coming up here, I'm doing a reboot of the Fallout Anomaly. And I'm also going to be looking into that quest mod that I just downloaded for Starfield. And we're going to try to get through that one. And then I am also going to start looking into just some more playtesting. I mean, serious playtesting. And we got to get back and start finishing up Watchtower with our girl Rona, right? She's new, what is it called? New Game Plus. So she's higher level. So it's interesting to see how that one's going to play out as well. All right, guys, we got a lot on our plate, a lot of things that we're trying to get done, and there's a lot of new games coming out and coming up soon. And I'm like, man, I want to do some stuff with this game. I want to do some stuff with that game. And it's like, yeah, but I want to do more stuff with this one. I want to do more stuff with that one. And then it's like I keep trying all these different Wabbajack mod lists for Fallout and just not having any true success. I found a couple that I already had. So the latest that I've tried to download, Wasteland Reborn, Fallout Anomaly, ones like that, they just haven't been successful, right? And the problem is really kind of just, how unstable they get, especially when you get down into the major areas. And so one of the cool things is the stability that I am finding with Starfield. It's not 100% stable. It's not great, but it is good and is better than what we see with a lot of the Skyrim and Fallout stuff. So, like I said, that's why this is my favorite game right here. Okay, guys. Hey, and leave in the comments. Tell me what your favorite game is. I know I like The Witcher. I like the Witcher series, but it's not my favorite. I like Mass Effect, and they used to be one of my favorites, right? And then Dragon Age. Dragon Age was one of my favorite series too. But the last one, I want to get back to it. Hopefully it's been patched out, and maybe I can find some decent mods to make it. I just don't know that it was done the way I would have liked to do it. And I can tell you one other game that really kind of fell short for me too. KCD 2 fell short for me, right? And I wasn't really happy with it. 3 games, actually, because KCD 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Avowed. They just kind of all fell kind of short. And I mean, really, to tell you the truth, I don't know if it's because I just rather play Starfield than those games. I don't know. A couple other games out there I'm just going to mention that I actually tried to play. Dragon's Dogma 2. Just couldn't get into it. And then the other one that was really kind of disappointing to me, it's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think, is the second game. All right, yeah. My mind is still a little cloudy. I'm gonna try to think of what it's called. And I'm gonna see it on my computer, and I'm gonna be like, God dang it, that's it right there. And of course, when I need to know or remember the name of the game, I'm not. And it's complete blank right now. Okay, guys. We will chat with you another time. Thanks again. See you soon.